Okay, well, happy Monday morning to you all. It is August 16th. I haven't been on the bikes much in the last couple of weeks since I returned from my Cannonball Run trip. I've been running around in the cars and delivering computer stuff and dodging the rain and all that good stuff, so haven't ridden the bikes much. I got my saddlebags on the Rebel. It's a little dirty, sorry. Haven't cleaned it in a few weeks. It's been sitting in the garage. The SW-Motech pannier mounts for the Honda. These are OEM'd by Honda through SW-Motech, so any of their SLC system will fit on here, but these are the Honda bags, and I've got two of the left side bags, the larger ones, because I don't have the factory exhaust that would be sitting right in the bottom of that bag. So it works good. Bags are okay. They're not fantabulous, but they're inexpensive at less than $100 a pop. So they work all right. I also got a, Saddlemen Sport Tunnel Bag that fits right over the top of this. But I need to elevate it up a couple of inches because when it sits flat on this rack, the side pods of the Saddlemen dig into these plastic stiffeners, so it doesn't really sit down very well. So I'll put a little pad under here and then strap that Saddlemen's on there for my touring duties. And yeah, that's that. This is going to have to go away because when I put my passenger foot pegs on there, that bracket right there is going to be right in the middle of where the triangle bag is, so it's got to go away, unfortunately. But it'll give me my knee room back on the bike. Whenever I put my feet down, my knee is always in the back of that. So anywho, yeah, well, I'm rocking brand new Olympia digital protector gloves. These are the same ones that I always get. I'm on my fourth pair of these now, I guess. I lost my left glove on the return trip from the Cannonball Run. I took it off so I could mess with my phone and shoved it under my leg, and then I went to shift. I had to lift my leg up a little bit, and it went whew, took off, and there's a whole line of traffic behind me, so there was no stopping and turning around to get it. Oops. Learned a lesson there. Don't do that. Put it in your jacket if you're going to take it off. Anywho, so I got to break in new gloves. Ooh, they're tight. Okay, so I'm just headed out for a little work commute this morning. I have a few things to do at the warehouse and my office, and I'm going to stop by the breakfast place on the way in and see if anybody's there, have a little chat, and off I go. It's trash day, so I apologize for all the trash cans and stuff everywhere. So I finally edited and posted my 0 to 60 performance time videos over the weekend. It's one of the many that are just sitting in the queue waiting to be cooked and dispatched. I had a decent little run a couple Sundays back, and I guess right before I left for the Cannonball Run, and took the Rebel out and took the Super Cub out, and I was doing some acceleration runs with different exhausts on the Cub to see if the SP Takagawa made any difference, and it did. It kind of reduced the top speed and the top end power a little bit on the bike, but it was a necessary evil. So anyway, that's long gone and done. It survived the trip mostly, and we did well on the Cub, so that was done. Anyway, so while I was waiting for the exhaust to cool down on the Cub, I took this one out and did some performance runs, edited that video, and posted it just over the weekend. And the times on it were pretty good. If I recall, I had a 3.86 0 to 60 was my best time, and it's very traction limited. It's very traction limited getting off the line, so the traction control fires and shuts your ignition down. So you have to roll into the throttle very smoothly to avoid front end lift or wheel slip, or the traction control jumps in and shuts down your fun. So it was a 386 0 to 60, and if I recall correctly, I think it was a 12.56 or 12.86 quarter mile. But what I noticed on the times, the 1,000-foot time or something was faster than the quarter mile time, which means 100 miles an hour, or top speed of the bike, hit before the quarter mile, because my trap time at the end of it was actually slower than my distance time. So anyway, long story short, the rev limiter is getting in the way of this thing for quarter mile runs. I didn't think that was going to be the case before I did it, but looking at the numbers, it appears to be pretty cut and dry. So it'd be nice to reflash this thing, get rid of that speed nanny up top. I'm guessing if the speed limiter weren't in play, the bike's top speed would be somewhere in the 130 range, just based on my butt dyno and kind of acceleration curve, how hard it pulls right up to that 100 mile an hour cap. It feels like it would run out of steam maybe around 128 to 135 range, somewhere in there. It's got a lot of power, but it's not an aerodynamic bike, so you're really going to be fighting an aerodynamic wall up above 120. So I don't know. Be interesting. See if somebody finally comes out with a speed limiter hack for this thing, just a reflash and get rid of that nanny, and see where this thing goes. Braking tests on it were okay. They weren't fantastic. I think this thing could benefit from some better pads. There's just not a lot of bite to them. I mean, it stops well if you really crank into the levers pretty good, but I don't know, they still, even I'm at 1,400 miles and they still feel like they're wooden blocks. So brake feel on this thing is not incredible. It's sufficient, it gets the job done, but it feels like it could use a little bit more braking power. Obviously, we've only got a single front disc. There's no disc over here. There's a 330 something millimeter over here. I don't remember the size. The ABS works really well, but it's a big bike and needs a little bit better pads on it, I think. So I'll probably put some EBC double H pads, at least on the front, maybe not in the rear. This bike does have rear ABS, so I could go ahead and put some stickier pads on the back. Usually putting real grippy pads on the back causes your rear to lock up quite a bit, so I don't normally do that on bikes that don't have ABS. Go! So I was looking for, oh sorry, back to the braking. That's full lock right there. I was locking both wheels on the braking performance. I think I got a 306 at 133 feet, if I remember right. So it wasn't spectacular. I was kind of hoping more down in the 115 foot range. So I guess with better pads it might do a little bit better stop. With all those runs that I was doing, I was running street pressure in the tires, so 33, what it says on the swing arm tag. If I wanted a little bit better acceleration, less rear tire slip, I could probably drop 3 to 5 pounds in the rear for acceleration runs. I don't know if that would help braking or not. Typically when you're drag racing doing 1/8 mile, quarter mile, you've got less pressure in your tire to get better grip. So, anyway. It's bright this morning. We're supposed to have pretty nasty weather. I haven't had a chance to do my new Coffman's exhaust install. They sent me the new model, which is called the Thunder, and it's a longer upswept exhaust, similar to the Vance & Hines and Two Brothers. Not quite as long, not quite as high. So that'll be interesting to put on there. Anyway, I haven't had a chance to put it on because our weather has been crap for the last many days. So the other things I've been keeping an eye on are the accessories for the Rebel 1100 coming out of Japan e-bike. Their market is much better for these bikes than the US. I don't know why, but so there are some new handlebars that are available. I've been looking at either bar risers or new bars, and these new bars have about a 2-inch rise and, a half-inch rise and a 2-inch setback, which is exactly what I'd like. So I'll probably get those bars. They're inexpensive. I think they're $115 or something like that, or maybe 130. So they're reasonably priced. Probably order those and put them on. The best thing in the specs about them is they allow the use of all the factory cables, so you don't need extended brake lines or control cables or anything like that. So apparently it's not a radical enough change that you've got to get new cables. That's something that a lot of people have been discussing and complaining about in the forums, is that there's not enough slack in these cables. So, I don't know. I'll get a pair, put them on and try that. There's also a new windscreen. I can't remember who the maker is. It might be Asahi. I'll throw a picture of it up here. It's okay. I'm not totally enamored with it. It may be what I end up putting on here if I can't find something else. It's kind of a batwing design, but I don't like the cutout around the headlight. It's kind of squared around the headlight instead of rounded. It's odd looking. Otherwise, it's a low batwing, probably only about this tall, so a little taller than this one I've got on here, this Daytona. But it's full width. It comes across the bars almost full. I think it covers part of the lever, maybe more. It might cover the levers completely. I don't know. It looks like a decent touring screen. And it's smoke plexi like this. So looks pretty good. I just wish it didn't have that squared cutout around that headlight. So my normal breakfast place is shut down for remodeling. They're expanding it. Island Grill over on Woodway. So one of his other stores is just right here behind this building. And it's been here for years. I just never come to it because I'm so accustomed to going to the original location. This one's actually closer to me in my office. So I've been coming here for a little bit now. Past few weeks. They're probably still going to be down for another 6 weeks or so for remodeling. I'm not sure of their timetable, but this one's close enough, and I'll just park right here in the compact cars parking spot. Okay, well, I've arrived. Doesn't look like any of the other boys are here. Don't see any of the familiar vehicles, so I'll just go in and eat and relax for a bit. Take my laptop in. This is my laptop bag while it's on the bike because I can't fit my other bag inside of this, but it seems to hold my Ultrabook pretty well. Got a 12.5-inch screen or something like that. Not a very big laptop. Fits in there like a champ, no problem. Anyway, I will catch up with you all after breakfast.